If you've lived in Los Angeles for more than a few months at least, and by the way, the new law is if you're here for 18 months, you're a native, you've almost certainly enjoyed the cooking of tonight's final honoree. A legend in the culinary world, Susan Feniger has been performing miracles in the kitchen for 3 decades. Together with her business partner, Mary Sue Milliken, she has blazed new trails with such landmark restaurants as Border Grill and Ciudad. And recently, she's ventured even further with Susan Feniger's Street, my own particular favorite. It's not even in my district and I eat there, it's in Tom LaBonge's, on Highland, an incredible restaurant serving street food from around the world. But some of Susan's most important work has occurred outside the kitchen. And she has been so generous with her time. If you run restaurants, to be here in the evening says something incredible. I know she's a little bit under the weather too, so to have been here this entire time, it shows what a committed, active philanthropist she is and an activist in our community. She has supported efforts to fight for equality and empowerment through organizations like the LA Gay and Lesbian Center, where she serves as a member of the board. Whenever I've asked her for help, whether it's a political cause or an organization, she steps up. She fed many, many people in Nevada who were very grateful after many days of walking precincts to deliver for a certain president that state. But this year, Susan is partnering with PTV to increase the organization's visibility and raise funds for its program. Susan has just been one of the angels in this city of angels. Her 30-year career as a champion of international culture and as an advocate for women and the LGBT community mirrors PTV's 30-year history of providing services to torture victims from around the world. Please welcome the one, the only, Susan Feniger.
When I was first asked and told that I was being honored tonight by PTV, I was a little bit baffled and sort of wondering, why me? I mean, I run restaurants, I cook, I talk a lot, and I thought, oh, maybe something's wrong here. But I tried to get a little bit of a better understanding of what it was. And I think Julie and Chuck, good friends now for sure, had explained that their feelings were that I had spent much of my career bringing people closer together through the common bond of food and the understanding of different cultures through the food that I serve. And although that doesn't really seem to warrant an award, it made me start to think about the program for torture victims and their fight for people's rights, for human dignity all over the world. And their outreach is very, very real. In an atmosphere of tolerance and healing, they help people who have been hurt and horribly treated to get back on their feet and change their lives. So I tried to look a little bit deeper on where this might connect to me and the work that I do. And I think I want to just tell you this quick story about someone who works for us, and maybe, I think as Julie said, just one, if you can help one person or make one small effect, that's the step towards doing some of the work that, this incredible work that they're doing. And when Mary Sue and I were opening Ciudad downtown, one of the line cooks came in one afternoon and said that there was this young girl outside and that she was looking desperately for work, and of course she had no experience, which of course is not exactly what we always look for. But I went out there and I met Beatrice, and she had long painted fingernails and a silk shirt on, and she was definitely a kid, but she was very, very anxious, and we didn't have anything, and I mean, we just didn't have anything for someone without experience, but I happened to, for some reason, be up cleaning, scrubbing the attic that the Union Bank building had given us for storage. So I was up there scrubbing. I thought, well, if she wants to come up here with me, fine. So she did, and she worked all day with me. I'm sure she broke her nails and ruined her shirt, and she came back the next day to do it. And then afterwards, she was just desperately looking for work. And she was very, very quiet, and for sure she was underage. And at that point, I just decided I needed to find something for her. I had no idea of knowing that she was 17. She had been kicked out of her home in Mexico. She was being sexually abused at her home where she was staying here and was just completely desperate to find a way out. I created a job for her, which was, at that point, it was painting tortillas with lime and chilies, and we did a lot of those. But she was amazing. It's 7 years ago that she started working for us. She now heads up our pastry department. She's excited and alive and never stops talking. She's married and has a 3-year-old daughter. She adores her life. She has freedom, and she's unafraid, and things that you and I'm sure most of us in here, take for granted. So I think in looking at many of we have over 400 employees who work for us, and I do feel that one of my most proudest moments in my career has been to provide an environment where people can be who they are, and that I feel like I do so much to try to be there and available and talk to people, and if I can be a mentor, but that those people who work for us often come with stories, and I feel like we become their family and their families and some place to go to talk about their problems. So if in that way I give a little bit to help people have a better life or a safer life, then I think it's simply that. The program for tortured victims has brought healing and hope to people from every corner of the world, whether it's to those who are tortured because of sexual orientation or while struggling for political, religious, or personal freedom. The program for torture victims has reached out and helped them put their lives back together. PTV is leading the fight for dignity, the fight for humanity. I've been deeply moved by their efforts, and it's why I've committed my own energy to bring greater visibility to their work and their extraordinary accomplishments. I cannot imagine a world waking up afraid to be myself, afraid to walk outside, a world where I'm filled with constant fear. But for so many, it's their daily reality, and sometimes their lifelong reality. We owe it to each other to help support a safe place for all people to become who they are in safety and in dignity. Know that I know there are so many more people, so much more deserving of this than myself, but I still thank you from the bottom of my heart for this award tonight. Thank you all.